And we are live. Hello and welcome. This should be the 135th episode of the Anarchimedia Show. Don't have much planned for today's episode. I'm a little late started. It is 9:15 in the morning here in the land of the burning sun on June 9th, 2025. Plan to do a little bit of a recap on the trip to Phoenix Fan Fusion 2025. Beyond that, I have no idea. So we'll get to that point and we'll see what happens. In the meantime, we gotta take care of the dragons. We have the overhead fan going, which is making things a bit interesting here. Things are warming up. Warming up here in the land of the burning sun. Being careful not to light the mic on fire. There we go. So, Phoenix Fan Fusion. How was it? Of course, I was there as the Dark Wizard and Archimedes, the Chaos Mage. Had a lot of fun. I did not take that many pictures. I am not a very good photographer in that respect. I can frame a shot and take a decent picture, halfway decent picture framed. But as far as just having the camera out the ready and snapping pictures of everything, that's not me per se. I'm trying to do better, document things for the show, for content. But I did take some pictures. Let me just... Okay, I'm produced on the fly. Here we go. I have to just move some things around a little bit so that we can get what we want. Also so I can keep an eye on chat. There we go. So, I of course went as the Dark Wizard, and mainly I was really interested in, we saw sword fighting, we saw luchadors, we saw awesome Lego display. There was an amazing, the whole basement floor of the Phoenix Convention Center was vendors. And the merch floor. Spent a lot of time on the merch floor. I like to engage in retail therapy. But there was just a lot of really cool stuff. The one place we didn't go was into the autograph hall. Didn't really. There was a lot of really cool, fascinating people that might have been fun to meet, but. Almost talked about going down and getting our copy of Red Dead Redemption Game of the Year edition signed by the voice actor who did John Marston. But we didn't do that. Sitting right here. We didn't do that. But I did take people, when people started coming up and asking, hey, I really love your costume. Can I take a picture? I, really appreciated that. And of course, I wanted to get a picture with them. And I wanted to get pictures of cosplays that I thought were cool. The cosplays were really fun for me to see and I'll tell you about some of the other ones that I didn't get pictures of. But we'll jump over to the main screen. The first cosplay. Saturday. Friday was our scout day. Saturday we went in as the Dark Wizard. And the first one I saw I needed to get was Wirt. Now, I don't know if anyone, if you, you know what? Maybe I should say who they are and not where they're from. And if you guys can get the reference, put it in the comments below. This is Wirt. He's got a little brother named Greg. First Wirt I saw Saturday. I was like, okay, I need a picture with Wirt. So they were very kind. Generally, the cosplayers there are very kind. You just ask permission if you can take a picture with them, and they're like, yeah, sure. I mean, isn't that kind of why we do these things? Next up, we have Billy, we have Conrad, and we have Cesare. And they were waiting for Steve to show up. For their Steve to show up. So, if you know where that reference is from, I was like, wow. Okay, I got... the funny thing is, I saw Wirt first. Wirt was actually with them. If you look, we'll jump back a picture of... yeah, you can see Cesare in the background there. With Wirt and I. So... I was there with the Gilded Warrior. He was there as Boxor, and I'm getting a picture with Wirt, and or Gilded Warrior is shooting the pictures, and and I'm getting a picture with Wirt, and he goes, "Hey, I'm not gonna name the reference." And I'm like, "What?" And I turn around and I'm like, "That is, yeah, Billy, Conrad, and Cesare." So that was really fun. The only ones I saw of them. I told them when their Steve shows up, because they were waiting for Steve. When Steve shows up, that if I saw them again, I'd need to get a picture with Steve. I didn't see them again that day, unfortunately. Handed out some QR codes to the website. So if anyone is watching this who joined from Phoenix Fan Fusion, who I gave a QR code to, leave that in the comments. I'd be really interested to know if anyone even followed the QR code. Just they're just cool stickers I made up. Anyway, a Space Marine. Now you should be able to get where this Space Marine, and this is an Ultramarine, where what that's from. So just a very elaborate, a very elaborate costume, cosplay. A lot of fun. There was a panel on building foam armor that we really wanted to get to, especially the Gilded Warrior. We weren't able to make it to that, unfortunately. We have to do something, because I have some ideas of different armors that would be fun to build, like that, similar to like the Space Marine, where it's just a full suit and elaborately done, very very accurately done. That one was really cool. That was cool. So remember, we'll get to the end of some of these. Like I said, I didn't take that many pictures. I'm not a photographer. Okay, had to get one in front of the Phoenix Fan Fusion sign with the wings, of course. So this is the Dark Wizard. Added the pauldrons and the bracers for Fan Fusion. There were a few more. So it is a work in progress, and there was some damage done to it at Fan Fusion. Some of the seams started to pull on the robe. This robe is I made this robe I want to say at least a decade or more ago. More than a decade ago. Not 2 decades, but at least more than a decade. It's been a ring wraith. It's been all sorts of different things, and now it's settling into the Dark Wizard. But some of the seams started to go. I need to touch it back up on the sewing machine, and yeah, and then wash it and put it away for the next event, or the next thing I'm going to add to it. There's some different armor pieces I'd love to add to it for the Battle Mage look, but and I'm still wearing the nail polish. We'll see how long that lasts. But yeah, that's me. And there's the Gilded Warrior as Boxor, the cardboard robot dog. Boxor got a lot of compliments. A lot of people like Boxor. He was working on that right up until right before we put on the costumes and went in. Yeah, Boxor. We were both went as our own creations. So that was my Gilded Warrior, Boxor. And this one was, if I only had one picture to show you guys from Fan Fusion, it would have been this one. That Skeksis was top notch. It was amazing. You can see it's got a little podling or something like that in the little, I don't know if you can see that, in its little cage in its hand. Both hands were articulated and moved and everything, and it was just it was an amazing cosplay. Yeah. If some of these ever get back to the cosplayers, know that it has Anarchimedes' seal of approval, if that means anything to anyone, which it probably doesn't. So that was fun. That was a lot of fun. Another one where someone saw on the merch floor, we wanted pictures, and it was just a fun photo shoot, just getting some photo shoot time in. If anyone is in any of these pictures who I gave a QR code to, and they're seeing these and you're in the picture, let me know. I'd be really interested to know. It was a lot of fun meeting you guys, and it was that was probably the best part of my trip to Fan Fusion, was meeting with you guys, seeing the different cosplays, and just getting out there among everyone else, among the community. It was fun. And of course, Zap Brannigan. And I saw Zap, had to get a picture with Zap, because it's real velour. Yeah, Zap was I think that's the final picture. Took that one Sunday when we got in. We were just getting settled in. We had a little bit of a late start Sunday, and saw Zap, and stopped him. I'm like, Zap, I got to get a picture with Zap Brannigan. So he was, of course, everyone very generous and very accommodating, very kind in stopping, and he was on his way somewhere, and of course, I'm just stopping people, and there was a Beetlejuice. I wish I had gotten a picture of not a Beetlejuice. There was a few different Beetlejuices. There was a Edward Scissorhands. That's what I'm thinking. There was an Edward Scissorhands that was just amazing. I wanted to stop. We were on our way somewhere else. I wanted to get a picture. I should have stopped and gotten a picture, but they were on their phone doing something, standing off to the side, trying to take care of something, and I didn't want to. And of course, I don't want to bother people. But one of the photo opportunities I missed was with Zap Brannigan, not Zap Brannigan, Edward Scissorhands. Zap Brannigan, I did not miss. So I made sure that when I saw Zap, I stopped and I'm like, Zap, can I get a picture? And of course, very considerate, said yes. Stopped and we got pictures. So that Fan Fusion picked up a few things, mostly some gaming stuff. Let's see, some dice. There was when I was in junior high back in the 80s, and I saw some kids playing Dungeons and Dragons or some role-playing game. I'm not sure. I assumed it was Dungeons and Dragons. I played Dungeons and Dragons and Star Trek. Now you know a little bit about the geekiness in me. I played Dungeons and Dragons and Star Trek. They were playing, I'm not sure which, probably Dungeons and Dragons, and one of the kids, whoever was probably DMing, had a D100. Now, a true D100, and they roll forever. And I saw that, I thought, wow, that's amazing. At the time, I didn't think, you can do the same thing with two D10s. But so a D100 is a very superfluous accessory when it comes to die and dice. But sometimes you need to have one anyway, just because. I think I will contact them and see if they can make me a custom color. They make their own die, cast their own. This one is black with red numbers. I don't know if I can switch over to the main cam, if you can see that. And it does. It rolls forever. You got to roll it in a tray, or else it's going to just roll right off the table. So I needed a D100 just for the novelty of having a D100. I'm looking for, what I'd really want is a complete set of all the different die, all the even weird numbers, the D3s, the D24s, the D30s, in translucent red. So I'm glad I found some of these people who cast their own, because that opens up the possibility, if I reach out to them, and hey, could you make me a custom set? I saw I saw one who had, I didn't pick them up, trying not to spend too much money at Fan Fusion, of odd shaped die. So they had D6s and D12s in these weird shapes, because each side, each shape on each side wasn't symmetrical, but they were the same as each other, so it still matched up, still had perfect roll randomization, but was just weird. They were weird looking. They looked like they were broken dice. So those were a lot of fun. Of course, one of the things you need to have that is also, again, superfluous is a D2. You can do the same thing with a coin flip. But they insist that it's just a coin, but no. So we also needed a D2. This is she looks like a flattened out D20, but it has 1 on one side and the 20 on the other. So you have a critical success or you have a critical fail. I also got that in a wooden coin, critical success or critical fail. You're either going to do really well or you're going to wish you hadn't. So I had to pick up a D2. This so I picked up this one from the same place as I got the D100. This critical success, critical fail wooden D2 was given to me. He was really awesome. I wish I had. I think I've kept a. I think I have. I might have a card of his. I might not have. It was the one there who dealt in wood, did everything in woodworking, and this one, I don't know how well the picture shows up. The purple in that. It's just beautiful. So this is Jake Hassler. Jake Hassler, if that's how you say it. I am probably really butchering that, but he threw in this D2 when I picked up this, which is a folding Mimic dice tower. That D100 will fit. That D100 will fit in the Mimic dice tower. It's a great dice tower. It has a great sound as the die go down, because it is wooden. Let me grab some die real quick. Dice, die if it's singular, dice if it's plural. Alright, let's grab some die here. Some green ones. We have a D8 and a D12 in green. Let's see if we can get this on the mic. If we can get this on the mic. Sounds good, right? So, just, you gotta have a wooden dice tower. So, I picked up this Mimic. It's a Mimic. And of course it closes up into a nice, cool little looking box. I mean, just look at the detail on that thing. Look at that. It is pretty awesome. I love giving my money to craftsmen directly, rather than some of the. So that's why I like. But I really, even though sometimes it gets a little more pricey, finding things on Etsy, because I'm paying the artist and the craftsman themselves. And having been a craftsman, having created my own things and tried to bring them to market, I can appreciate that. I like to support them. So let's see, what else? I gotta show the haul. I did pick up a set of dice. A die. I picked up a die, the D100, and I picked up a set of dice. Now all my dice, up until this point, with the exception of just a couple oddballs, like I have some round D6s. They have a internal thing that gets them to settle. If anyone wonders how round die work. I picked up a set. This was the last set they had at Nordic Foundry. Was the company who did these. Next time I'm going to make sure I get cards, and so I can put links to the companies I picked these up from in the description. That's a brilliant idea. Why didn't I think of that before? Nordic Foundry. I said earlier I want a complete set of red translucent die. That is the D20 in shattered garnet. They had actual stone, gemstone die. Usually, most of them were made out of quartz. They had these. This is glass. This is a glass die, and it has that cool shattered effect on the inside that just sparkles like a diamond. Beautiful, beautiful set of die. Let me pull out another one. The D12. But so I bought these. Now these are glass, so they will break. And in fact, this was the last pair. This was the display pair, the display set that they had out at Nordic Foundry. And since I wanted it, I wanted the shattered garnet. They pulled it from the case. She checked through each one, make sure they weren't cracked, because they are glass. So you cannot roll these on hard surfaces. The dice tower, my fun mimic dice tower, I cannot send these down. They will either run the risk of breaking the die. So I had to get a second dice tower. Pick this up from Nordic Foundry. It is a collapsing dice tower. It does have a soft tray that I can roll glass die in. 13, not bad, not bad, better than average. And then, and of course, this it's all made with magnets. It all just breaks down, folds down flat, closes back up. You have a tray. This is also magnetic. Opens up, flattens out. So the tower itself breaks down, folds down into 2 flat pieces for easy transportation. You can throw them in your messenger bag or your DM's bag. And then when you get to where you're going, if your guys are meeting up at a gaming store or something like that, gaming location, secondary, never let them take you to a secondary location. You can just whip this out of your bag, fold it up. You got your dice tower ready to go. So I had to pick up a second dice tower for my fancy glass dice set. There was a lot of other things, a lot of stuff, a lot of artists. And authors there. There were actors, of course, and movie stars. Quite a number. The Hobbits were there. All 4 of the Hobbits from the Fellowship. And Katie Seagal was there. That was one that I was like, if I had a Leela, some kind of Leela, I would love to have her sign it, but I don't right now. But we didn't even go into the autograph hall. I didn't budget that much for autographs for this year. But I did pick up a print. It's up behind me. Now, of course, everyone is there. They had all the different fan prints and genre, and they had a lot of cool stuff that I thought was amazing. And but there was one that really spoke. I don't buy a whole lot of prints unless they speak to me or strike a chord with me. Oddities and curiosities, I bought 2. I bought the Cup Robot, not the Cup Robot. Gilded War got the Cup Robot. I got another robot in that series, and I got a Ren and Stimpy print. I could have got Ren and Stimpy. There was a lot of Star Trek stuff that was intriguing to me. Just a lot of different things. But I walked by this one booth, Dogs and Dragons, or Dog and Dragon. Dog and Dragon, I think is what it is. Dog and Dragon, and the Alice in Wonderland print caught my eye. It was Alice and if you could flip the print upside down, and then you had the Mad Hatter and stuff looking coming the other right side up, and you could. So it was just a real, and just the art style was amazing. So I went in we went in there, looked around, and she had lots of different prints, and some of it looked like the originals up on there, but a little out of my price range. But the one that spoke to me, I went through there next to the Alice print. There was a print of next to the Alice. There was a print of an angel with a sword, and that one was very intriguing. I went in and found started seeing a bunch in that series, and I pulled for myself this one. We're getting a glare off the ring light and off the other monitor, and I talked to the artist a little bit. I'd like to find out what their inspiration was, what the kind of the meaning is, what their intention was, because art, in my unhumble opinion, my arrogant opinion, has more to do with the conveyance of the emotion that the artist intended. The artist created it for a reason, and generally they intended to convey something. And if that communication is lost, then the art, even though it may still be beautiful, and there may be other interpretations which are valid, that communication from the artist is lost. So I like to talk to the artist and see from my perspective and what my thoughts were about the piece, how close they were. And of course, it was wonderful enough to get it signed by the artist. Let's see if I can pronounce the name of this piece. Should be Sarai Seol, I believe. It's down there at the bottom. SARAIGHCEOL. Heather Edwards is the artist. So we have it's hard to see because we're getting that glare off of the ring light and off of the other monitor. From the other monitor we're getting a reflection. Let me pull it out. We'll lose the reflection. I'll pull it from its secure plastic casing. Probably shouldn't do this, but very careful. We're being very gentle with it. If you can see, we have, and I will tell you a little bit about it from what she told me. That is a woman. She's not an angel, but she is empowered. The wings represent empowerment, and power, especially divine power. And you see that she is there playing, and there is a mass of birds, ravens, crows, and if you look carefully, they're encompassed about the head of a dragon. And she is subduing the dragon with her talents and abilities, with divinely empowered. Take from it what you want. It has to do with overcoming and the mounting forces that build against us when we do attempt that. So yeah, that piece spoke to me. So I picked it up. Now I just have to figure out where in the office I'm going to put that. I mean, we don't even see the my robot back there. You probably won't see this one on cam, unless maybe I do a behind the scenes cam, because I'll probably put it on the wall somewhere over here. Any case, Fan Fusion, a lot of fun. Like I said, the other thing that was really fun was the luchadors. Watching the luchadors wrestle, that was fun. Just get it, just to let yourself go and get into it. You know, of course, because there's the bad guy and the good guys, and you're wanting to, unless you're weird like me and you're rooting for the bad guys. But at one point, I can't remember what what they had done, but the ref pulled the wrestler off and it was giving them the talking to about you can't do that, and I yelled out, "Don't listen to him!" Yeah, that was fun. Just to let yourself go, get into it. It's luchadors. That was cool. The Lego display was amazing. They had it was huge, a lot of stuff. And for those of my watchers, especially those who are Star Wars Lego fans, there were mini kits. There were 10 mini kits on the display that you could find. I found one. I think I found two. But 10 mini kits on this huge display, hidden all over the place. The little mini kit thing. So that was cool. Saw cosplay parades. Gilded Warrior even got in on one of them. That was fun to see the different cosplays, see how many Spider-Mans showed up for the picture, things like that. It was a lot. Phoenix Fan Fusion 2025, a lot of fun. I went all 3 days. That was a bit much. 3 days was. I think in the future, keep it to 1 or 2. I don't need to go all 3 days. Probably. We'll see. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. So, yeah, we've been streaming now. I've been blathering on for close to 40 minutes on Phoenix Fan Fusion. How it was. What I took away from it. It'll probably be a short episode. Unless I decide, you know what, let's play a video game or something, but could play some Vector. I haven't played Vector in a while. Vector could be fun to play. Leaving this one up. I'm trying to see if we can make this the thumbnail for the video. So, it's interesting. I don't make the thumbnails. I let YouTube just randomly it gives us an option of 3. So just random frames throughout the video, and you can use those as a thumbnail, or you can use what shows up default. But I'm seeing for those who post YouTube videos, especially live stuff like this, I'm not putting in this thumbnail and letting YouTube generate it, and we'll see if we can get this to generate from this image. Just an experiment. That's why we do this. It's for the fun of it, just to see what we can do on this channel. And anyway, yeah. Had looking at collectibles. There were a lot of fun collectible stuff. There was a Voltron there. Oh, next time I need to budget a lot more. There was a Voltron there that I really wanted. There were 2 Voltrons. One was the big box, and that one I think they wanted like $750 for. They had a smaller one for about $350, which is the one that I remember. I think a friend of mine had growing up. It's about, I think that was about the 12-inch tall Voltron with the Go Lion Voltron that all disassembled, transformed into the lions, and then assembled together. Anyway, just fun stuff at Fan Fusion. So next year I plan to be there. Hopefully, if you can make it work, you can plan to be there too. We can see each other at Fan Fusion. So I think I'm going to call that the stream. I don't think I'm going to jump on, play any video games. I thought about we could do a quick vector run, but no, I think we'll leave it at that. Just the recap of Fan Fusion. Had a lot of fun. I'm glad I got to meet any of you guys. Like I said, if anyone watches this video and we met at Fan Fusion and that's how you found this video, comment. Let me know. Please. I am very interested in that, and just how did you guys find me? Was it something I did? Was it something I was trying out? Or not? Just curious. So, until next time, I am Archimedes, signing off.